A very good evening and welcome to the Uganda Catholic Television. I am Joseph Kawale, bringing you Uctv news this 23rd of June 2025. Now, following a successful weekend operation that neutralized a suspected female suicide bomber in Kalere Market, the Uganda Police Force has praised its officers and partner security agencies for averting what could have been a major national security threat. In a press briefing, the police spokesperson Rusoke Chituma applauded the coordinated efforts that ensured public safety and reaffirmed the force's dedication to protecting the country from terrorism. Chituma also issued a call for heightened vigilance, particularly among vulnerable communities and public avenues. On Saturday, the Uganda People's Defense Forces announced a successful anti-terrorism operation in which they neutralized the female suspected suicide bomber in Kalere, whom they had been tracking and believed was about to carry out a devastating terror attack in the country. While the Uganda Police Force are reluctant to provide a comprehensive report on the incident, citing ongoing investigations, Rusoke Chituma commended the security operatives involved in the successful operation and reiterated their commitment to enforcing peace and security in the country, despite potential terror threats.
Wish to commend and applaud our gallant officers of security forces, the UPDF and the other security agencies. They managed to nip in the bud of a potential a terrorist threat that would have probably caused a lot of damage to our population. So they managed to take action before the enemy could execute his mission.
However, Chituma urged members of the public, especially proprietors of vulnerable soft targets such as churches, bus parks, and markets, to maintain heightened vigilance against potential terror threats at all times, noting that terrorists operate without a fixed schedule or predictable patterns.
The security measures that the community needs to take to try to address those threats. We have engaged public transport operators. We have engaged the leaders, owners of malls, their managers. So this is not a new story. Prone areas are those areas I have mentioned. I have mentioned transport terminals, areas which collect large numbers of people like markets. I have talked about arcades and areas of worship. So all those areas, as long as you are areas of entertainment, as long as you operate a business of that kind or you visit those kind of areas, pick interest. You can pick interest as a potential victim or as somebody who has the custodianship to ensure that the public is safe.
On the other hand, Chituma also issued a stern warning against the prevalent practice of civilians obstructing law enforcement officers from executing lawful arrests, emphasizing that such actions can escalate into tragic loss of innocent lives. He stressed that this behavior is not only risky, but also punishable by law.
You recall we have had incidents where police officers have even lost their lives, not so far away ago, and equally civilians have lost their lives. So we feel it is very timely and important to notify the public out there that these acts of lawlessness are both risky but punishable. They are risky and punishable, and they shall not be tolerated. Officers attempting to arrest a robbery suspect called Chuha Alex were attacked by the suspect and his brother, both armed with pangas. One officer was injured during that scuffle, and also the brother of the suspect who was shot in the knee.
Meanwhile, the police's chief political commissar, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Ubaldo Bamnoba, announced that the force will undertake a series of community outreach activities, including donating to adoption homes, in the lead up to the annual Africa Public Service Day celebrations, slated for next month.
And the entire police leadership and the police fraternity shall be involved in all the activities that shall precede the celebrations of the Africa Public Service Day. We shall have a series of events that shall precede the final day to mark this important day.
Africa Public Service Day is a strategic event on the African Union calendar, celebrated annually on June 23rd across the African continent by all AU member states. This year, Uganda will observe the celebration is on July 7th under the theme, Enhancing the Agility and Resilience of Public Institutions to Achieve Equitable Governance and Rapidly Address Historical Service Delivery Gaps. Caritas Uganda, in collaboration with the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, has kicked off an environmental sensitization campaign in Kabale district aimed at fostering environmental stewardship among children and youth. The campaign, which has been launched ahead of the 25th National Environment Day celebrations, featured a joint competition that brought together primary and secondary school students. Now, learners demonstrated their creativity by delivering powerful messages centered on plastic pollution and the importance of environmental conservation. Over the weekend, Caritas Uganda, in collaboration with the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, organized a pre-National Environment Day celebration in Kabale district. This event was part of a series of activities leading up to the national commemorations, which will be hosted in the same district this coming Wednesday. The celebration featured inspiring creative expressions from young learners, including poetry, drama, and prose, all centered around this year's theme, United Against Plastic Pollution. Betty Agoti, the police and advocacy specialist at Caritas Uganda, emphasized how the theme amplifies the call for sustainable environmental stewardship policies and reaffirms the organization's commitment to this cause.
Trying to amplify the message on a World Environment Day and a message on ending plastic pollution. The theme for this year is United Against Plastic Pollution. Caritas Uganda has supported the students to be able to participate, and we are also going to participate in the regional dialogue to harmonize and amplify the national theme and also to spread the message about plastic pollution.
Agoti further stresses that environmental stewardship, particularly in the fight against plastic pollution, is an individual responsibility, upon which she called upon all members of the public to desist from the reckless littering of plastics and also reject the packaging of items in polythene bags. In the same spirit, she charged school proprietors to craft and implement policies that abolish the use of plastics in schools.
Plastic pollution is a very big problem, and we call upon everyone listening at this particular time to try to end plastic pollution. It starts with you and me. You reuse, you recycle, and you refuse. Those three, they are always four, but those three: reuse plastic, recycle plastic, and refuse plastic. How do you refuse plastic? You realize that when we go to the market, you're given about 3 plastic bags, Buvera, to carry your materials.
The Assistant Resident District Commissioner of Kabale, Christmas Rugendo, reminds Ugandans of their country's unique international identification and urged them to preserve it by adopting environmental protection policies that will sustain their country's climatic reputation.
The environment we live in is very key and paramount. We cannot live without the good environment. And the President has been on this for several times and has issued a directive of wetlands, on how to protect our wetlands and how even people can vacate from wetlands. And we at the RDC's office, we are here to implement that directive to ensure that we have a very well protected environment. I call upon all Ugandans that we need to protect our nature. Uganda is gifted by nature and we need to protect it, because it's the one that gives us value at the international level.
The lead-up activities have included tree planting, community cleanups, and multi-stakeholder dialogues, all focused on reversing environmental degradation. Nakawa East MP Ronald Balimwezo has declared his intention to challenge incumbent Lord Mayor Elias Lukwago in the upcoming elections. Speaking to journalists after returning his nomination forms at the National Unity Platform headquarters in Kavuli today, Balimwezo, accompanied by a group of enthusiastic supporters, expressed confidence in his ability to lead Kampala and pledged to tackle the city's long-standing issues, particularly the persistent drainage problems that continue to affect both residents and businesses.
Lero nkomye nzizo wano kupata yaffe okuzza empapula ezeyagaliza ekifo ky'obwa Lord Mayor nga nsuubira nti nze musajja oyo Kampala gwe badde erindirira n'eggwanga lya Uganda kubanga twetaaga ekibuga ekiri orderly. Ekibuga ebizibu by'ekibuga ebiriwo byekwanagana na bya engineering ate nga ndi mukugu mu bya engineering nkozeeko ku projects ez'amaanyi ze baali basuubira tezisobola kuggwa mu record time okugeza papa we yali ajja mu Uganda nze naweebwa obuvunaanyizibwa obuteekateeka Namugongo mu myezi 3 era nesobola okuteekateeka Namugongo ne mumaliza mu myezi 3 nga nze nkulira Namugongo. Kati nsuubira nti Kampala tasobola kunnema kukolako kubanga ndi mukugu mu by'enguudo, ndi mukugu mu by'emyala, ndi mukugu mu bya kasasiro kubanga byonna nabisoma. Ebizibu bya Kampala bitambulira tulina kilomita 12 ez'enguudo mu Kampala ne kilomita lukaaga mwana zokka ziriko kolansi. Endala zaggwa dda ku mpagala nti zeetaaga omuntu ategeera n'okulaba nti wabeera value for money ng'alondoola ssente y'omuwa omusolo ng'amanyi kyakola kubanga ba technocrats batubbira omwo. Kati wembanga nze engineer ate wembanga nze Lord Mayor ng'ate nvunaanyizibwa okulondoola ensibi y'omuwa omusolo mba ngenda kulondoola ekintu kye mmanyi. Kasasiro namusoma e Korea nga kizibu kya Uganda kyatwogezaako nga balagajjavu. Kasasiro okutuuka okutta abantu mu ggwanga kyannaku nnyo. Kale nno ngenda ku addressing ensonga ezo ng'ate nkwatagana ne bakama bange. Eky'omukisa omulungi nsuubira era nkakasa President wange Kyagulanyi agenda okubeera President w'eggwanga. Ekyo nno nga kigenda kunnyamba okuba nti nfuna ttiimu y'aba technocrats egenda okunyamba okutuukiriza omulimu gw'abana Kampala. Sisuubira wabula nkakasa nga President Kyagulanyi ye President w'eggwanga sente zijja kujja zigenda okukola enguudo. Ate y'omu kubavumirira enguzi tugenda zikozesa bulungi. Mbadde mu Parliament nga nsakira Kampala ku mulundi guno Kampala twagiwadde biliyoni 93. Ezo sente zikolera ddala omulimu munene nnyo mu kutumbula Kampala era ngenda zikozesa. Naye nga neewaddeyo ng'omukulembeze omulungi agenda okukola ku nsonga z'e Kampala omuli kasasiro, omuli enguudo embi, omuli floods. Kati floods mwalabe kye zaatukoze lunaku lw'eggulu. Amataba tufiirwa miliyoni $10 10 okusinziira ku lipooti ya World Bank eya 2008 buli nkuba weetonya. Kitegeeza ki nti bwe tuba tukoze ku nsonga y'amataba tugenda kuba nti tetufiirwa bwe tutyo. Kyekyo ekindeese okwadressinga ensonga ezo eziruma Bannakampala. Bannakampala tebeebase ekiro olw'amataba oba oluusi nga Katonda ateeseteese okugyayo nze ng'agenda okubeera solution y'amataba ago.
Away from that, the National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA, has moved to reassure the public about the safety of personal data during the ongoing mass renewal and enrollment exercise, which has already drawn over 3.5 million applications nationwide. Speaking to journalists in Kampala today, Claire Orama, the Buyikwe District Registrar, emphasized that there is no need for alarm, noting that NIRA operates under strict government-certified data protection policies. She reaffirmed the agency's commitment to safeguarding all collected personal information in line with the national privacy standards.
When we hear the voices coming through about people asking questions, about the mannerism in which NIRA is collecting information, where some feel that there is a lot of information being asked. I want to allay the fears of the public and say we are doing this in the confines of the law, in a manner that does not sabotage who you are or compromise your identity whatsoever. So very quickly, I will run you through the progress milestones. Last week we were at 2.5 million, and the brilliant news this morning is we are now at 3.5 million renewals. So we managed over 1 million renewals last week. And the message is salient. The message is clear. Ugandans are responding. Ugandans are heeding to the call and are coming back in big numbers to say we want to be feasible to government, we want to be identified, we want to access services, and we want to be different, we want to be unique. A couple of people have been saying that we are asking for too much, that we are asking people to tell us their tribe, we are asking people to tell us their origin, we are picking their fingerprints and iris. Ladies and gentlemen, it is world over a standard that is showing that it is not about how much information you collect, but how well you use it. Now, I want to reassure the public that NIRA subscribes to the Data Protection Office. We are well-registered member and in good standing with their books. So we honor each employee of NIRA signs an oath that commits to protect and handle your data appropriately. We only share information on a need-by-need basis. Say, for example, your bank needs your NIN to confirm who you are. Your bank will be able to check with us if that NIN is valid. But they will not access any other information about you. So to allay your fears, we treat this information critically in a reliable manner that secures you and secures us. NIN number is a combination of unique characters that are put together to identify you uniquely from another person. They have no meaning. I have seen many social media people purporting to interpret a NIN. Please don't get that headache for nothing. It is not your duty to interpret those numbers. The numbers simply mean a unique person. To the extent that sex soma F or M, you are good. Behavior CF, CM, 0, RM, CM, that is not your business. Please don't dwell into it. A unique is a combination of unique characters that set you apart from another person.
Thank you for watching Uganda Catholic Television. We will take a short break and we'll return with more of Uctv News.
UCTV, good news for all.
You are watching UCTV, good news for all. For this and more, tune in to Kasese Get Radio 100.5 in Western Region, located at the hill of the Diocese of Kasese. KGR brings you all Catholic programs and an advertising platform in all our radio shows like Good Morning Renzori, Chama Tovoka, Ukute, the Business Show, Propeller, the Rico Show and Sports, Evaluation, Bahinga Bakuluka, Late Night Show, and many others. Our other services include Isuzu Tipa, a no car, public address system, live band, Omokekera, an audio recording studio, and outside live broadcast. For more information, call 0773 597 166 or visit our website www.kasesegatradio.com. Kasese Get Radio, Omusondoria, the voice of truth.
Welcome back from the break, and now UCTV News continues with members of the deaf community who gathered yesterday at Kamocha Holy Trinity Catholic Church in a remarkable celebration of faith, unity and resilience during their unique monthly mass conducted entirely in sign language. In a ceremony defined by silent yet deeply moving expressions of devotion, the congregation demonstrated that worship knows no auditory boundaries. Kamocha has now become a spiritual refuge for the Catholic deaf community, an inclusive space where faith is communicated through gesture, not sound, and where silence becomes a powerful symphony of praise and belonging.
Accessibility to information is a spiritual lifeline for many deaf Catholics. Therefore, lack of sign access masses means a spiritual isolation. whereas the church has been making a call to inclusion since 1966, urging that inclusivity in church is not a luxury. Thence the Vatican endorsing sign language in liturgical activities. To date, very few parishes comply or may even afford it. Nonetheless, in Uganda, there happens to be only one Catholic church, Kamocha Holy Trinity Catholic Church, located in the suburbs of Ugandan capital, Kampala. This sacred space is a spiritual home to close to 100 of deaf Catholics countrywide, yearning for services in their first language. And yes, these have this mass once in a month, only on the last Sunday of the month. Their June Mass was held yesterday, and we were all around to witness this extraordinary, one-of-a-kind Mass in the country, where silence is a symphony of devotion. By 2:30 p.m., Catholic members with hearing impairment had already alighted and settled with composure, patiently waiting for the commencement of the Mass. Contrary to your usual holy masses, where the spiritual atmosphere and mood is set by a lively and heartwarming melodies performed by enthusiastic and jovial choir, here the musical instruments are not bothered. Instead, they look forward strictly to a sign interpreter, who must introduce them to the tune of the hymns that they will eventually chip in hastily, one by one, and then participate in loud yet silent singing. Soon, the priest, Father Martin Oyo, the only sign language priest in the country leading such masses, find his way to the altar after performing all the required spiritual formalities, upon which the mass now starts. And now Gloria Babirie holds the microphone just to translate for us, who cannot comprehend what Father Martin could be communicating in sign language.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. The Lord be with you, and with your spirit.
Here, gestures speak volumes. The faithful proclaim their identity, their resilience, and their unwavering connection to the divine. All the solemn liturgical activities are conducted in sign language, and yes, even the homily. Yet the congregation is following as fast as the message is disseminated in their first language.
He is with us and is providing for us. He cares. That's why he feeds us with his body and his blood, that on our journey to heaven we may manage and reach our destiny to enjoy eternal bliss.
For the praise and glory of his name, for our good and the good of his holy church.
Sign language is their native tongue, a vibrant kinetic language steeped in culture and soul. Father Martin and Gloria Babirie, the interpreter, have brought signed masses to life, each guest a bridge to deep understanding and inclusion, as they convey liturgy with bodily presence, facial expression, movement, making prayer felt, not just recite. This poignant celebration serves as a reminder that faith transcends barriers, and the deaf community's passion for their beliefs is truly inspiring. At the climax of the celebration, just like any other sound on Mass, Father Oyo dives into a seamless interactive session with the congregation, and by their continence and real-time responsiveness, the viewer could easily be convinced that sign language is this priest's first language.
Do we have any minister? Christian.
However, in an exclusive engagement after the Mass, he informs us of how he just learned it.
After my postgraduate diploma in special needs education. I continued with another one, a diploma in sign language interpreting, which I'm pursuing right now. I do lead this mass every month. We started with April, the month of April, and we give it every month, every last Sunday of the month.
Upon obtaining the professional proficiency in the language, Father Martin says he was intrigued to apply it to serve the church by attending to the part of the marginalized groups of the society, who are the Catholic community members with hearing impairment.
The deaf people are amazing Christians. I'm excited that they are coming back. They are coming back to the church. Many of them were praying from different churches. They are overwhelmed. They are happy, excited to come back to the church. They are coming back home. And that's why I organize this mass every month. And it's an opportunity to teach them catechism and the mass responses.
According to him, this has not only won him new friends, but he is convinced that he has attracted more divine blessings from the Almighty God. He adds that this has strengthened his resolve to furthering his studies in the same field.
What I've benefited from this is that I get blessings from God. I get blessings every day. Whenever I make someone smile, whenever I impact the life of a person who was sad for many years because they are not attending Mass, then I'm just getting blessed.
It's upon this ground that he appealed to fellow priests, both within and beyond the borders of Uganda, to consider learning sign language in order to break the barriers of communication, which have blocked many of the Catholic faithfuls, particularly those with hearing impairment, from obtaining sacraments.
I want to inspire many priests, I call upon priests, to pick interest in this beautiful language, so that we preach to all, not just to a few, or to the hearing. Those people have a fundamental human right of accessing every information, including the homily itself. And also, I would encourage that maybe rectors in the seminaries or our bosses, make it possible that this language is studied in every seminary, especially the major seminaries.
On his behalf, Father has taken it upon himself to nurture and inspire other sign language interpreters to the service of the church, such as Gloria Babiri, an ambitious sign language scholar at the university, who now takes pride in a number of benefits she has acquired from this practice.
So far, ever since I started this work, I have achieved confidence from it. I wasn't like this before, but now I've acquired some confidence.
Just as the old adage goes, everything has its own benefits and challenges. Similarly, the ministry has not all been roses for these two. They have a number of challenges frustrating them.
Here in church, the choir may use different languages, may use Latin. I don't know how to interpret Latin. May use like Runyankole.
The challenges I find are especially during Mass. Right now, they do not know how to respond at Mass. So we tell them every now and again, copy this, and with your spirit in their language.
In a world often fixed on sound, here is proof that spiritual unity does not require words. It is a testament to how inclusion transforms worship. When accessibility is centered, every guest echoes with divine purpose. This shall be a honest reminder that faith, in its purest form, speaks through the heart, a silent yet profound declaration that faith belongs to all, in every language that the heart speaks.
Thank you so much for watching UCTV News. It is time for Today in History. Thank you for watching Uganda Catholic Television. I am Joseph Kavali and wish you a lovely evening.